currently Kiwis are spending around 1.3 billion per annum just on consenting. That's before a digger starts on site. So conservative estimates that we can save around 13.5, potentially 14 billion over the next period on consenting costs alone. And the way we're going to do that is by making the planning process much simpler. Instead of 67 plans around the country, we're going to have only 17 plans, one for each region. We're going to have far fewer need for consents because we're going to lift up what is considered material. In other words, at the moment, any kind of effect on your neighbour or on the environment has to be managed. In the new system, we're going to say, look, unless the effect's more than minor, you don't have to manage it. We're also going to lift
Why don't I just jump in there because the devil's in the detail. What is minor? Can you give us an example? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, we have thought about it. And at the moment, minor would be vibration, noise, dust coming from, say, a development or a business operating next door. It's important that we do manage those effects on neighbours. And again, in the environment, if we're thinking about discharges from a factory or from a polluting source, if they are changing the water quality to an extent that, fish and eels and other creatures can't live in it, then obviously that is a more than minor effect that we're going to need to manage. But again, huge cost savings available by streamlining the planning system. We're also going to need far fewer consents. Our initial estimates are that the number of consents needed will drop from around 40-odd thousand a year down to maybe 20 or 22,000 a year initially. And we think actually we can improve on that, but we have to get through what we call the implementation and transition phase to bed some of these things in. But in the end, Kiwis shouldn't be asked for consents for things they know how to do well already. If you're a land developer, you already know how to do erosion and sediment control, build a sediment pond, set up a silt fence, make sure the trucks don't track mud onto the road. Demanding consents for these things over and over again around New Zealand is just costing money. We could put all of these conditions into a national standard, say for land development, and then developers could be held to that standard through compliance and enforcement. That's a much simpler way of doing things than demanding consents up front.